Repenter, the Protectorate of Menoth, uses the volatile oil known as Menoth's Fury in great abundance, a fiery reminder of the Fate's burning wrath. Older warjacks like the Repenter are outfitted with the crudest and least refined supply of Menoth's Fury, as it's readily available in quantity. The Repenter was first used to police the borders of the Protectorate, and it brought these scourging flames to bear against any who dared to trespass. When they designed the Repenter decades ago, the Soul Midnight Artificers armed the light warjack with a great three-headed flail. Into its other arm they integrated a rudimentary flamethrower. The first model was little more than a pipe and ignition system attached to a reservoir with a simple pump. But later versions utilized fanning spray nozzles and refined mechanical systems to propel the blazing fluid a considerable distance. The current weapon design foregoes an external igniter and instead vents superheated heartfire directly into the fuel. Arguably as important as the damage wrought by the fire is an impact of Repenter's blaze on enemy morale. Those weak of faith who face the Protectorate in battle have no fortitude for seeing their friends burned alive, screaming in terror while allies try desperately to extinguish the hungry flames. The Repenter is a favored vehicle for delivering Menoth's wrath to any enemies who defy his will. And yeah, I feel like any people that utilize flamethrowers usually, it's to hurt the enemy morale, because yeah, seeing your fellows light up on fire is not a good thing for anyone. And if you survive that, you're going to be taking the hit of a three-headed flail, which is never fun for anybody, thus making him a very dangerous lightjack. And the ability to light people on fire and to stay on fire, because Menoth's Fury is really hard to put out because it's alchemical. It's not just, it's not just a normal flame. It is literally an oil that attaches and burns. Very, very deadly in the long term. But let's read over some of his fun stuff. His height is 9 feet 10 inches. His weight is 4.25 tons. His fuel load is 412 pounds. His initial service date is a 533 AR. General use 6 hours. Combat use 90 minutes as per most warjacks. His armaments include his flamethrower and his warflail. And his Cortex was manufactured by the Vassals of Menoth, and he is currently being manufactured because he's got all his updates to make him even more dangerous. But let's read over his Mark III to Mark IV changes and see if there is any. I doubt it, because when you're simple, why change it out, right? And as always, let's start with his stat line. He is a Speed 5, he is a Mat 6, he is a Rat 5, he is a Defense 12 and Armor 17. And his weapon systems include, as mentioned before, a flamethrower with a rat of 5, a spray of 8, a rate of fire 1. He does have the ability to shoot while he's in melee, which a lot of spray weapons got that, because why wouldn't they have the ability to spray in melee, because it's a flamethrower. It is a fire damage, and it does the continuous fire effect, so after you light them up, they stay on fire unless they roll a 1 or a 2 during the maintenance phase to kick it out. And the fire is a POW 12, so if you have anything that increases fire damage and they do not get the fire off during maintenance phase, that is a D12, or that is a POW 12 damage roll. Plus, if you have additional things that make it, like, say an ability to increase fire damage, which is awful for anybody involved in that. Also, sprays are no longer a spray template, as many of you are well aware. It is a direct line now, so it'll stack on anybody. It just doesn't spread out anymore. So, straight line, that's it. And that also makes sprays being able to be affected by things that change the length of these. So things like you can put a snipe on a spray, getting this guy up to a spray of 11. So he hits everybody in a row of 11. Or he can be affected by things that negatively impact range of weapons. So, like Windstorm, it can slow him down. At least I believe it's called Windstorm. Don't quote me on that. And then his other weapon is his Warflail, which is a Mat 6, a range 1, power 13 chain weapons. So this, because his chain weapon ignores shields, so makes it even more deadly. So if you just need a jack who can catch a lot of people on fire, who's not incredibly expensive, this is your jack to go to, because being able to throw fire onto anybody in the Protectorate is a phenomenal ability for any of their warjacks. But let's move on.